Hello, Stacy the Black Feather Intuitive. Welcome to a live show, Demystify the Divine, weekly readings and tools to connect. And I'm super excited to be here with you today. Hoping everyone is doing well. Couple things that I want to just mention before I dive into the good stuff. What I'd like to do at the end of this show, or sort of the last segment of the show, is because we're going to sort of talk about tarot and oracle and maybe how you can tap into your own inner guidance using it. Feel free to grab your deck, grab either a tarot deck or an oracle deck. And what I'd like to do is kind of provide the option of, I'm going to come up with a little challenge for us for the week on how you can apply the general guidance to what's going on with you, and make it more personal to you for the week. And if you want to have a card pull where you pull your card and you need a little guidance on how to read it, how to sort of interpret the message and understand what your dream team is telling you, I would love to have you come on and show me your card and we can have a little chat about it. So with our format, what I would need for you to do at this time is to send an email to, it's kayaniproductions@gmail.com. It's on the screen right now. Just send your name and send that you would like to go live with your card pull at the end. And if you're chosen, we will bring you up and we can have a little chat about your card pull. So if you want to do that now, and then we'll get started with the reading, that would be great. Gives my my moderator, John, fabulous John, time to get your email and get you all set up. So really look forward to doing that. Also, stay tuned to the very end as well. I'm going to talk about my Archangel Conversations and Beyond workshop that's coming up this Saturday. We're going to be talking about sex, folks. Woo! It's going to be fun. All right, so let's call in all the archangels, ascended masters, highest guides, light beings, creature teachers, elementals, loved ones in spirit. Come on into this space to give us the clarity and guidance that we need to really, I want to say, light ourselves on fire in a good way, to connect to that soul fire energy this week. And so I'm going to tap in and do our word of the week. So I'm going to channel, I'm going to close my eyes and go within. Just give me a minute. Transcendence is our word of the week. Transcendence. So what does transcendence mean? It means we get to rise above something that comes up in our world. We get to look at it, live in it, and then rise above it. There's an energy of observation or observer when we're talking about transcendence, in that you rise above a situation and you can observe it and notice what is transpiring as a result of it. And transcendence also means energetically, I rise above. Energetically, I'm not stuck in the muck and mire of what's going on. Energetically, I recognize that it is all for a higher purpose. It is all there designed to help me to move forward with my dreams, goals, desires. Anything that is in my path, it may be heavy, it may be sticky and icky and gooey to work with, but it's going to teach me something. It's giving me an opportunity to learn something that is going to be good for my soul and help me to move forward and transcend the negative energy, transcend the things that hold me down or hold me back, or keep me from, I want to say, the liberation of exploring the heart's desire and the soul path and purpose. So this week, and it's going to be interesting to see what comes through with the cards, but I feel like this week, our word of the week is transcendence. And how can you transcend whatever is going on in your world right now that may feel a little heavy or may feel burdensome? How can we transcend it? How can we rise above it to see from that observer perspective that when we rise above it, it's there for our benefit. It's there to help us. What do we need to learn from it so that we can, I want to say, quickly move forward? And I'm throwing the word in quickly. It may be a judgment because, time is relative. And sometimes when we're going through a process, it takes the time that it takes to go through that process. So quickly isn't always the best course of action. But let's face it, we all are wishing that we were kind of on the fast train to ascension, right? And getting to where it is that we want to be without a whole lot of pomp and circumstance. Let's just get right to the heart of the matter. So I don't feel that there's anything wrong with asking for that, connecting to the universe for that, and saying, yeah, I'd like to learn this lesson as quickly and smoothly as possible, because the key is about learning the lesson. If you can learn it quicker, let's do it. Why drag it out? So transcending the ick, transcending the muck and mire. All right, so we are pulling cards today from the Elemental Wisdom Tarot, and I believe it's Taroteca Studios that does this. I'm sure John's going to put something on the screen. Yeah, perfect. Beautiful card deck, by the way. I'm not even sure where it's from. I think it's somewhere in Eastern Europe, but really beautiful cards. Okay, our tarot card of the week is Five of Cups. Check this card out. So beautiful. Okay, so Five of Cups is catalyst. Five of Cups is choices that need to be made, but we're making it from an emotional perspective. We are diving in. We are reflecting. Perhaps we are sad. There's disappointment connected to this card as well at times, that, well, things didn't go the way I wanted them to, or there's such a shift in the direction from where I was to where I am now, and I'm being forced to make a choice, to make a decision. There's a catalyst that is stepping into the mix and saying, well, you didn't get everything that you wanted, but it's important that you move forward. And in this card, she's focusing on the three cards in the front that are spilled. And there are two cards next to her. And in fact, her hands are close to the card. I keep saying card, cups. Three cups that are spilled in front of her. That's where she's looking. That's where her gaze is at. But next to her hands, she's got two cups that are full. They're upright. And she's got this beautiful, we could call it a sunrise or a sunset in the background. What is she focused on? She's focused on what she doesn't have. She's focused on lack. She's focusing on what didn't work. And I'm going to encourage you this week to say, wait a second. No. Let's focus on what is working. What's the saying? Don't cry over spilled milk. There's a reason why we say this, because when you're looking at what isn't, you're focusing on the past, and you're sitting in the energy of, okay, I want to bring more of what doesn't work to me. That's where I'm putting my focus on. And so when I have my focus there, the universe is really going to make sure that I'm given more lessons and more opportunities to explore lack, to explore that what I don't have. And with the eventual intention of you getting sick and tired of that and moving on to the focusing on what you do. But I feel like, generally speaking, for all of us, the energy is really going to be focused on, I want to say, things that we don't want to perpetuate any longer. And it's up to each of us on an individual level to choose what we focus on. So the challenge this week, I feel, with this card is, what is it that you're going to focus on? Are you going to look at the spilled milk, or are you going to look at the cups that are still there? Yes, there is disappointment at what didn't work out. There is disappointment at, I put a whole lot of time and effort, or I really invested of myself into these three cups, and oh my God, like time wasted, or why didn't that work out, or I wish things were different. All of that is valid, and you can't change it. So focus on what is there, because the universe and the collective dream team is steering us, encouraging us in a direction that's going to, I want to say, light our fires. It's steering us in the direction of a beautiful new sunrise. But if we're not paying attention to it, our back is to it, then we're going to miss it. We're going to miss the boat. So the sunrise is there, the other two cups, and notice how they're sitting back towards the shore. They're a little bit behind her, because it's encouraging her to turn her gaze and to look at the beautiful sunrise that is there. Right now, she's missing it. So I want to say, really focus on where your focus is at, and make sure that your focus is on those things that you can do something about, that you can make something of, that is wanting to work with you. And I feel like this is from a career perspective, and I'm hearing all you entrepreneurs out there, really get clear on who you want to work with and who wants to work with you, and make decisions, make information available. Make your information, your marketing, your outreach, make it geared towards those that want to connect. That's how you can shift the focus from the lack to the abundance and the flow. And cups is all about our ocean of emotion, and it's the psychic realm. So I do feel that there's going to be some psychic drain here as well this week. Those of us who are, I want to say, really sensitive, really tuned in, paying attention to our energy, there's the potential for a lot of drain. Cups being spilled and the energy going out, into the sea or into the sand, where it's not really serving you. So you want to be paying attention to all of these things and saying, okay, when my energy is drained, maybe I've got my focus on something that isn't the best for me. And perhaps I need to turn my head or look the other way to see what else is there for me to focus on. I'm seeking the sunrise. I'm seeking the sunrise. 5 is change, transformation, sometimes conflict. Again, catalyst, something that is going to change or shift things up. Don't be afraid of the shift and the change. In fact, it's time for us to embrace that. All right, our oracle deck this week is the Elle deck by Arwen, Lynch, Poe, and he's already got it on there, Melanie, Delon. So for those of you who have watched me for years, I love this deck, and I haven't kind of pulled it out in a while, and it's been waving to me. It's been calling to me, actually calling to me in my sleep. So I knew this morning when I woke up, this was the deck that we were going to be reading from. She Who Nurtures, Colette. Empathy, gentleness, and insight. Check this card out. So when we are talking about that catalyst, we're talking about shifting our focus. We can do it in a gentler way, using gentleness, nurturing yourself, nurturing another. These changes that we are going through are not necessarily easy. They're not always smooth. They're not always comfortable. And I feel like it's important to understand that even though there is a level of discomfort, and that discomfort eventually is going to get us where it is that we really need to be, I'm definitely feeling strongly that it's important that we all give ourselves permission to nurture ourselves through and nurture each other through the process, rather than being, I want to say, large and in charge and real gung-ho about where things are at. You want to focus instead on, okay, it's happening. I am uncomfortable. So what can I do to ease my discomfort? What can I do right now to give me a little bit of comfort while I am sitting in the change? The change is here. The change is inevitable. What can I do to ease into it, or to just comfort myself while I'm going through it? I'm drawn to the word insight. And I think it's interesting that this card is coming up while we also have a cup card in the reading as well. And when we're talking about transcendence, I feel like it's important that you are, I want to say, aware of your emotional state from a transcendent place, from that observer place, understanding that feelings and emotions move, shift, change. You feel one way for 5 minutes, and then 5 minutes later, you're on to something else. It's totally possible for you to, I want to say, be in flow with those emotions rather than sticking in the same emotion all the time. And again, it takes gentleness, it takes nurturing to, and it's a practice, because we're not taught this. We're taught to push through and go, 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 and, put on your big girl or your big boy panties and just, kind of move on through it. And sometimes, yeah, we need that. But most times it's not really working. It doesn't really suit, I want to say, it doesn't really suit what our soul needs, and it doesn't nurture our heart space. So when we're talking about insight, I feel like this week you're going to be receiving a lot of insight around how to transcend your issues. You're also going to be receiving a lot of insight around your emotional state. And I feel like a lot of us are going to have a few different opportunities this week to really observe how emotions can be, I want to say emotion is neither truth nor lie. It is what it is, but it can trick us into believing something other than what really is. So sometimes our emotions can disempower us if we get too caught up in them, and give us the impression that we're stuck here for life. This is how it's always going to be. We're always going to feel this way. So I want to say to you, you're going to receive insight, or you want to put yourself in a situation where you're connecting with your dream team to ask for insight. And you want to go as far as to say, I'm going to ask for insight on how I can transcend this feeling and emotion. Or I want to ask for insight on how transcendence of this feeling and emotion gives me a broader perspective, a bigger perspective into what is going on, what is motivating me, what is triggering me, what is holding me back, what is pushing me forward to be able to move in and do these things. So I want to say, ask for insight. You know, something that comes up all the time with whenever I work with the archangels is they always say, hey, we're here. We're all here. We're all standing around you, like ready. You know, we're like at the front of the race and we're like, okay, we got our foot on the block and all we're waiting for is the gunshot to say go. But they can't go unless you invite them in, unless you ask. So I feel like the insight coming through, the word insight coming through is an invitation to ask for the information, to ask for the insight, to ask for the information around transcendence. It might even be, I don't know what needs to be transcended. I'm just stuck in the soup. And I don't know whether I need to transcend the onions or the mushrooms, or did I put too much salt in this damn soup? I don't know. Help me out. You know, throw me a bone. So ask, because when we ask, we receive, we open ourselves to receiving, we unblock the flow of the intuitive guidance, the insight. And this is how we can nurture ourselves this week. Each of us can nurture ourselves this week by taking taking an insight, like a pause, so that you can invite in that insight. Take a pause to really be intentional about receiving your intuition and receiving your guidance. The archangels definitely want to come through. Your personal angels want to come through. If you're not an angel person at all and you just want to focus on the energy or your guides, call on them. Call on the energy. Invite in. There's our word. Invite in the assistance, the help, the guidance, the energy, the insight, the transcendence. Because wisdom is knowledge. Knowledge is power. When you have power, you can transcend everything. All right, let's pull a feather from the feather jar. See what we got going on. I love the word transcendence. That is so freaking cool that came through today. I don't even know where that came through. All right, we have a yellow feather and the word is fire. So interesting. We've got the cups, which is the water element, and now we're getting fire. And we're getting fire connected to the solar plexus chakra. The yellow is our solar plexus chakra. And I always joke that this is either our Wonder Woman space or our Superman space, whatever you identify with. And it's our personal power. It's our identity. It's the way that we step into the world. We co-create from this place. And what was my intention before? I'm always in the clouds, so I can never really retain a whole lot. But it was talking about our soul fire, connecting to the soul fire and the soul flame. Well, our soul is seated in our solar plexus. This is kind of where it lives. This is our soul fire. So I feel that the feather message this week is really saying, hey, yeah, you're dealing with a lot of emotional stuff, but don't forget that, again, invite in the fire. You're dealing with the emotional stuff so that you can connect more deeply with your soul fire. And the water isn't going to put the fire out. And we think about that, okay, it's what it does is it tempers it or it balances. But in this case, I feel like the fire is actually tempering and balancing the feeling, the emotion, the water. So the fire's coming in to say, hey, don't worry. You're not going to go that deep that you're going to lose yourself. You know, the soul flame is going to keep you focused, keep you on the right track. It's going to keep you balanced so that you can always remember that, this week, this is why I'm here. I'm focusing on my soul path and purpose. I'm focusing on what my soul wants to tell me. I'm transcending the human experience so that I can be clear in hearing and understanding the soul path for me. Yes, there's also the energy of, I want to say, the soul path for the collective, and we are all in it right now. There's so much going on that is focusing on who are we becoming as a collective? What is our soul path and soul purpose as a collective? And each of us can help that collective path and that collective knowing by connecting with their own soul, because we are all one. But we are one having individual soul aspect experiences. So each soul aspect then comes into the collective and comes into the whole, and your experience is going to color the experience of the collective. So make no mistake that even on a small level, when you're connecting to your soul, even on a small level, you're actually helping the collective as well. Holy cannoli, I see so many people live. I'm so excited about that. I keep telling John all the time, you know what, there's probably going to be no one that shows up. So let's just figure it out. So thank you, everyone who is popping in. I just love that. All right. So that is sort of our reading for the week. Now let's take a minute and grab your decks, and we're going to, we're going to explore kind of the challenge of the week, challenge in a good way, on how we can take the general reading and we can really, bring it home. And this is the time where if you do have your deck with you and you're pulling a card and you just want maybe a little bit of guidance or assistance on how to understand the message, would love to have you live on here to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually pull two cards today. And I feel like we want to ask the question of ourselves. What card energy is going to help me to expand my understanding and awareness of transcendence? And the second question we're going to ask is, how can I recognize in my life where transcendence is necessary, where it's required, where I'm being invited to transcend? How can I recognize it? So John, I hope you got those, because I set them up and I need to write them down as I do it. So I'm going to pull the first card. I think it was something about, what do we need to know? Oh, what energy is going to support us through the transcendence? So the first card that I'm pulling from the tarot, ooh, I got 10 of Wands. So in relation to the concept of transcendence and how you can make this work for you. For me, I'm getting this card right now, and this is the card of rewards and the burdens that go with it. So for me, this week, when I'm talking about that energy of transcendence for myself, what this card is telling me is, in order to transcend, I have to let go of what isn't working for me anymore. I've got a lot of irons in the fire. I've got a lot of different things. I've invested in so many different aspects and areas in my life. And from a business perspective, I can just talk about this. And I hate to call it business because it's just really who I am. I mean, I'm on purpose and of service when I'm doing these things. It's just who I am. But of course, there's always, we live in the 3D world, and there's this business aspect. Well, there are certain offerings that I put out there that I think are going to be amazing. I think people are really going to love it, and they're going to get super fired up about it. And I put them out there, and it's crickets. Okay, nobody really wants this. Maybe I need to release it because I'm putting a lot of energy into it and not really getting a whole lot out of it. And it's not in terms of I'm not getting something out of it. For me, it's in terms of, okay, if I'm on purpose and of service, and that's the ultimate goal, if I'm not reaching anybody or nobody is really interested in this offering, then it's not serving the mutual purpose of me being on purpose and of service to others. So I need to find things that others are going to be interested in. So for me this week, this is a clear message that I need to transcend the idea of attachment to the things that I want to say that I create, and the things that are created through me, and recognize that if I'm heading in a particular direction and I really want to get there, I don't want to have to carry 5 billion different things with me in order to walk up the hill. It's going to be a lot easier if I have 2 or 3 of these wands instead of all 10. So it's recognizing for me this week, okay, what am I going to need to release or let go so that I lighten my load and I'm able to, reap the rewards of what has been sown and continue on my path forward to lighten things up, to get to the next level. The second question, I think, was, what did I say? The energy of what energy is going to help me to understand what needs to be transcended. I think that was I'm going to have to come up with a better way to do this. I'm so in the moment, I'm so like flippy floopy in the moment, and then I can't retain what came through. But we're going to just talk about sort of energy here, the energy of transcendence, and what card energy is going to assist me with that. Okay, so for me, I got another wand, so you can tell that I got a lot of fire going on. I need time with my terrible spelling. It's all good, John. It's all good. E for effort. So for me to bring the general reading into a more, I want to say, tangible reading for me, or a message for me, clearly I've got some wand stuff going on. So wands is passion, wands is purpose, wands is spirit, wands is soul. It's also intuition, but it's that, I want to say, it's the gut intuition. It's the feeling body. This is connected to clairsentience. And so Page of Wands, what this is telling me is Page is the energy of student. It's recognizing that I'm not a master yet, but I'm eager to learn. I'm ready to dive on in to this. I'm ready to be a student and have a mentor. I'm needing to give myself permission to not know it all. And that's what I feel is the message for me right now. Is I have a strong tendency to be a perfectionist, right? A-type, and needing everything to be just so, and to be perfect. And while I've, shed a lot of that, it comes up from time to time. So the message for myself this week, I feel in relation to, the energy of student. Yes, eager to learn. So what I'm feeling here is the message for me is understanding that, okay, when it comes to transcendence, it's really about being in the path of I'm learning, and I'm not going to know exactly what needs to be released. I need to be in flow and in the moment, and understand that there's a journey that's coming up here, and that I'm planning for the journey. The journey hasn't arrived yet. I'm not on the journey yet, but I'm planning for it. This is like packing for the trip and making sure that you've got your list of all the different things that you could need, because you've done the research, you've planned the trip out, you've booked the tickets, and now it's packing for the trip to make sure that you've got what you need. So I'm doing that on a soul level. I'm doing that on an energetic level. Where's my energy at? Do I have enough of it? Am I taking enough? Am I packing enough energy? In relation to what I've dropped, in relation to what I'm letting go of, that's freeing up more space, more energy for the journey ahead. So it tells me this week that when I'm talking about transcendence, and how this 5 of Cups, the catalyst is happening, and how this insight is coming through, and being gentle with myself, it's recognizing that I don't need to know everything. I don't have to know all of the answers. I don't have to have all of my I's dotted and T's crossed. What I need to really focus on is, where is my energy at? What am I investing my energy into? And looking forward, how can I prepare best for what is to come, for the journey I'm about to take, making sure that I've got, the cute little black dress that can go anywhere, but also doesn't require ironing, and you can fold it up and roll it into a ball and pull it out of the suitcase and throw it on and look like $1,000,000, right? Making sure you got enough pairs of underwear, making sure that you've got long pants and, capris or something, so that you're accounting for the weather. So it's it's in the mind of sort of that planning phase and planning stage, but you're doing it from an energetic perspective. So that's how I'm interpreting my message, my personal message this week, especially around the word of the week, which is transcendence. So, John, I don't know if there's anyone who is wanting to kind of dive in and explore their own card today, or if there are any other questions that we can tap into. I'll take 2 questions today if there are 2 questions. Oh, I'm seeing Christy would like to come on live. Awesome. So I would love to see Christy.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay, we have 2 coming on live, hopefully. But Christy asks, what arch helps most with custody battles?
Oh, great question. So there are 2 archangels that you can connect with. The first one is the Archangel Gabrielle. She is the Archangel of communication. She also really helps with mothers and children, really supporting mothers and children. Not to say that every custody battle is the mother against the father. Sometimes it's the father against the mother, or sometimes it's mother against mother or father against father. But definitely Archangel Gabrielle is going to assist with that. And then I'm also hearing you want to connect with Archangel Raguel, who is very much connected to legal matters, legal assistance, legal battles. When you connect in those ways regarding the custody battle, you want to always invite them in, understanding that they are going to work on behalf of the highest and best of all involved. And ultimately, that's what you want. But you want to understand, sometimes we get in our heads, especially with sticky wicket custody battles, really the issue is the kids. You want to make sure that the kids have exactly what it is that they need that's going to be for their highest and best. Of course, you always want to, sort of be the victor and be able to know that, okay, I'm not going to have to deal with this, or I'm going to have support in dealing with, this difficult individual. You also want to understand the arcs are going to be working to make sure that the highest and best is served for that other person as well. And sometimes that means their highest and best is they need to learn a lesson. Sometimes that means their highest and best is to not have interaction with the kids, or to have supervised interaction with the kids. So you just want to understand that when you're asking for the highest and best of all involved, that also includes the individual that you're sort of having issue with. And ultimately, you do want them to be a part of that as well, in that they're going to be easier to deal with moving forward, that they're going to have the opportunity to shift and change so that the child's best interests are recognized and received. I don't know why I felt the need to say that, but that's kind of what's coming through. But Archangel Gabrielle, the Archangel of communication, and Archangel Raguel, and right now my head is in the clouds. I can't even tell you what his name is. It's not the Archangel of forgiveness, because that's Jeremy Elle. Although he would be a good one to call on too. But Raguel is definitely the one that you want to be calling on for those legal issues and legal matters.
Manic has said that she pulled the 8 of Cups.
Ooh, I like that. So Manic, did you pull the 8 of Cups? Was that your first card or your second card? Not sure how quickly our
It may take a while.
Oh, there we go. Second. Awesome. Second card. Okay. So talking about the energy that's going to support you. So 8 of Cups is about letting something go. And it's very fitting that in the general reading, we had the 5 of Cups, which of course is, like I said, the catalyst or choice, and focusing on something that, focusing on what you don't have or what you've lost instead of what there is to gain, how you're moving forward. 8 of Cups is a great energy to support you with this, because it's allowing you to let go of the past, or to say, whatever it is that I am disappointed about, or that didn't work out, or that spilled, I'm grateful that it's gone, because I can release it and let it go. Because Eight of Cups also means you're letting it go because you're moving on to something better. You're moving forward to a new journey. And I'm not sure what your particular Eight of Cups looks like, but typically what happens is you see a bunch of cups behind a person, and the person is sort of walking into the sunset or walking into the sunrise. So the Five of Cups here, it's very fitting that you got the Eight of Cups. So when you're looking at your card, the specific card you want to kind of be drawn into on that Eight of Cards or Eight of Cups, what is the first thing that my eyes are drawn to when I look at the card? What is the feeling that the card invokes in me? When I'm asking the question, what tarot card energy is going to support me? When you look at that card, you want to pay attention to the very first thing that you're drawn to, because you might think, oh, I'm drawn to a color, I'm drawn to the corner of the card, like that doesn't mean anything. But yes, it does. It means something to you. When you're drawn to that corner, is that the northeast corner? Is it the northwest corner? Is it the southeast corner? Is it the southwest corner? What is in the north for me? What is in the east for me? What is in the south? Is it in relation to a move? Am I moving somewhere? That could give you indication of where you want to be looking as you're moving forward. So really pay attention to the first thing you notice on the card, and dive into the card starting at that point, and allow the card to sort of reveal its message to you. Does that kind of make sense the way I'm explaining that? First card. Christy's got a first card. Is that who I was reading? No, I was reading Manic.
Oh no, she was saying this is her first time because she was going to come on live, so we've been talking back and forth.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But she's been commenting that you've been hitting things right on the head with where she mentioned she got 2 wands earlier.
2 of Wands. Was that the first card or the second card?
That was her first.
So the first card, so this was how we can sort of pay attention to what we need to transcend, be shown what needs to be transcended. So you said 4 of Wands or 2 of Wands? John?
2 of Wands.
2 of Wands. Okay. So 2 of Wands is a really cool card because it is a card of direction. And typically speaking, you've got a figure with 2 different wands sort of looking out over a landscape. And there's an energy. And of course, depending on which card you have, sometimes it can mean you've already made a decision and you're sort of looking out over the decision you've made and getting ready to take next steps. Sometimes it can mean you're focusing on the wrong thing. So it really depends on what you're looking at with your card. So what I would say to you, again, same kind of guidance, is when you look at the card, take the mind out of it and just notice what you are first drawn to. For example, when I'm looking at my at the 5 of Cups card, the first thing I'm drawn to for me is the flowers. There's these beautiful flowers or leaves that are kind of blowing towards her. And I feel like they're fall type colors. So what that says to me, if I'm looking at this and I'm drawn to that in relation to my question, it's that 5 of Cups. It's okay. There's a change that's coming. The wind is blowing. The autumn is coming in. So the leaves are changing color and it's beautiful as it is dying away, but something is definitely dying away. Something is changing. And so when I'm drawn to that, I'm going, for me personally, the fall makes me a little bit sad because I know that winter's coming and I don't like the winter. So I kind of mourn the summer. I mourn the loss. I recognize that there's a bittersweet. And it reminds me always to be grateful for the nice weather that we have as long as we have it in the fall. It's a good reminder for me. So because this is how I associate the leaves, and this is my feeling around it, that gives me valuable information as to what the message is that my guides are telling me. So with your 2 of Wands card, you want to really take a look at that, notice what you're drawn to, and then find out, sort of ask yourself questions. Well, what does this mean to me? What do I associate it with? What does it represent? And then in relation to the question that I'm asking, or in relation to the reading, how can I apply this into my own life? Oh, okay, it must mean that the decision that I've been, trying to face and trying to make for a while, I've been overthinking it. So I need to now step into the soul space and understand, what is the soul purpose to all of this? I don't necessarily need to be in my head and thinking about the right choice to make. It's fire, it's energy, and it's soul. So where is my soul going? That's the easiest way for me to answer this question, or to make this choice, is to cut out all the other stuff and really get to that. My soul purpose is this. And if I say yes to this decision, it's going to get me to that, closer to that soul purpose, or it's definitely clearly on target with that soul purpose. So I feel like the card for you this week is also sort of indicating that you are, I want to say, maybe you're looking at all of the different factors and you're getting lost in trying to make the right decision, when really you want to focus on what's the best energetic decision for me. What's the decision that's going to bring me the most energy around transcending what is transpiring for me, or what is going to bring me into that soul space more clearly. I don't have to make the decision from my heart. I don't have to make the decision from my head. I need to make it from that soul space. So I hope that helps. I see there's one other person here. I saw like a 4 of Wands. Try red. 4 of Wands. Is that someone who wants to pop in as well?
Try one stated that they put the 4 of Wands. I don't think we're going to have time to bring anyone on live. I've sent out a couple of links, but we'll make sure we get that worked out smoothly in the future for everyone.
No worries. And I'll ask everyone's permission. This is only our second week going live, so we are kind of working out the kinks, but I am confident that we're going to smooth through it. So I'll talk a little bit about the 4 of Wands. I'm not sure if it's your first or your second sort of position, but 4 of Wands is a great card. I love the 4 of Wands. And interesting that we've all got wands. So there's definitely a lot of stuff percolating around energy and soul fire and soul passion this week. So it's important for everyone to sort of take note. But for you with the 4 of Wands, try red, you want to be really paying attention to where you need to celebrate, where you have invested and established something solid that allows you now to say, oh, okay, woohoo, I got through that and I did it really well. And now it's time to move on to the next, to really get excited about moving forward. 4s are really about work and effort that you put into something. It's also about establishing a foundation. And the 4 of Wands is, am I on even keel energetically? Am I burning the candle at both ends, or am I not burning the candle enough? 4 indicates, wait, your foundation is ready. So whatever you've been doing in the past, you don't have to worry about that. Now you've got a solid foundation through which you can find the balance. So, and I want to say to you, celebrate the balance. That's what I'm feeling this week, is celebrating the balance. So again, for you, when you're looking at the 4 of Wands, and typically the traditional depiction of this is you've got the 4 wands that sort of creates I want to say almost like a little trellis, or a little archway that people can sort of run through, and it's typically considered the marriage card, and not necessarily that means you're going to get married, but I often talk about it being a blend between the divine masculine and feminine, or that there's, I want to say, an already established relationship that's kind of moving to the next level. And that doesn't necessarily mean romantic relationship. That can be a friendship, that can be a coworker situation, that can be a relationship with you in a project, that kind of thing. But definitely feeling like when you look at that card, you want to pay attention to, are there people in the card? Is there a castle in the background? The castle always represents sort of home and hearth. And sometimes if it's really far away, it's like the unattainable, something that you feel is unattainable, or something that you're, working towards, but you're not quite there yet. And you're celebrating the beginning of this new trek or this new phase. So again, pay attention to what your eyes are drawn to on that card, because that's going to give you the clue to figure out, okay, how do I associate this? Even just looking at the card, maybe you're like, oh, two people are happy on this freaking card, and there's flowers and, kids playing with a maypole, and it just makes me want to go, pay attention to that. Because it doesn't mean that you're going to have that reaction to that card every single day. It means you're having the reaction to that right now. And that's indicating to you, something's irritating me, something's up. What is the message? And when we're talking about transcendence, and we're talking about that message around transcendence, that's going to be a good indicator that, this situation, the way I'm feeling about it, I need to transcend it. I need to figure out where in my life I'm mirroring this, or where in my life this situation is that's making me want to go in my mouth, right? So it's all about really being in the moment with your cards and connecting with the imagery on the card, connecting with the response or the reaction that you have to the card. And that is where you're going to find the guidance and the message that is specific to you. Well, guys, thank you so very much. I'm thrilled that I had some people on live. Thank you very much for your support. One quick thing before we wrap up. If you're interested in the Archangel Conversations and Beyond workshop this week, I would love to have you visit. It is Saturday, 1 to 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If that time sucks for you, because I know it's kind of in the middle of the weekend, don't worry, we record it, and everyone who signs up for it, they get the recording, they get the link, and all the bells and whistles that go with it, and you can watch it at your leisure. We do meditations. We do an activation on the sacral chakra. That's what we're talking about this week, is the sacral chakra. We're doing an activation to really get to know our sacral chakras. And we're doing this all while we're getting to know Archangel Zadkiel, the Archangel of Passion. And Zadkiel is going to walk us through getting to know the sacral chakra, the things that it does, how it can help us energetically. And we're also getting to know Archangel Zadkiel throughout it. And Zadkiel is I'm going to channel the dude. And he's going to come through and give us some messages and some guidance around how to express ourselves creatively, how to really connect and make our sacral chakras work for us. And I feel like I want to say to you some health issues or health concerns that you can easily shift or fix using the sacral chakra. So apparently that's going to come through. That's brand new to me. And there's always a live Q&A with this as well, where you get to talk to the Archangel directly. So you'll get to ask your questions while I'm in a channeled state. And that's always a really cool freaking thing to see. Even when I watch it sort of later, I'm always blown away by what comes through and how that shows up. So would love to see you guys there. We're going to put a direct link in the comments below this video so that you can connect with that. But you can always go to my website, theblackfeatherintuitive.com, and it's under events, and it is the Archangel Conversations and Beyond workshop. Thanks, guys, so much. Sending everyone love. Good luck with Transcendence this week. Good luck with that, releasing the catalyst. Remember, shift your focus to what is there and what you can do with what is there rather than what is gone, what is no longer. And be kind and gentle to yourself. Nurture yourself through the process, understanding that we're all on a soul journey. Thanks, guys. Take care. Sending love.